Hello, everybody, and welcome to the United Stand. Got a bit of feedback in my ear there. I don't know what that's all about. Let's have a look.
There's music playing.
Oh, I think it might be Adam. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the United Stand. I hope you're all doing well and very welcome. We've got Adam and we've got Ricky on the show tonight. We've got lots to talk about. We will be talking about Pogba, Bellingham, the return of football as well, Bundesliga, etc. And also got we've been ranking transfers and we've been doing who we think players are good enough to play in a Manchester United Premier League team. There was an article today on our website that Droughty put up from Eurosport about the best ever Premier League player. And they basically ran a tournament, I think, of 32 players, and it went all the way through to the finalists. Now, Matt Letizia won. I don't know how that happened, but we're going to do Adam and Ricky working through the same games they had and see who comes out on their top ever Premier League player. There are some United players in there, of course, so that won't be a problem. But how you doing, lads? Good. Okay, right. Well, I'm just going to start off with Jude Bellingham then, and I'm going to get the lads' thoughts on that. So, Jude Bellingham, this is coming out from 90 Minutes. Now, a lot of people, 90 Minutes. I think it's a decent website. Scott Saunders is the person who's wrote the article. I like Scott. He's been on fan cams and all sorts for the United Stand in the past. He's basically saying that Manchester United are ahead in the race to bring Jude Bellingham, and mentions the fact that Jude Bellingham's son. He'd do well to have a son. He's only 16 himself. Jude Bellingham's brother will come as part of the deal, who is I think he's about 14. So it's interesting because we've seen the Bundesliga this weekend, and I think that brings it home to how it's in Germany, obviously, and that's a big step for a young 16-year-old. I know Sancho's done it to go over there. We know that Bellingham's been to Carrington, and we know that Manchester United are in that race. Now, interesting about Bellingham, he's played over 30 games in the Championship this season, but he's played for a number of positions. He's played CDM, he's played left midfield, he's played centre midfield, he's played right midfield, he's played attacking midfield. His attributes really are tackling, passing, looking like a long-term CDM. I'm going to get your lads' opinions on this and I want people in the live comments to get involved as well. If I said to you, you can have 16-year-old Jude Bellingham, who's played over 30 games in the Championship and could go on to be one of the best players in England, or do you take Jack Grealish, 24, proven in the Premier League? Which way would you go, Adam, with that one?
Jack Grealish straight away. Only because I like Jack Grealish. I know he's got a lot of baggage off the football pitch, and he's had some bad press recently. But for me, I think I heard you talking about the other day, Mark, about it's all about what goes on the pitch, and I'm an advocate of that as well. I've got nothing against Jude Bellingham. I don't know enough about him. At the age of 16, everyone is clutching really to say that they do know a lot about him, to be honest. But for me, I just feel like United's youth system at the moment is producing quite decent. And I don't think we necessarily definitely not a CDM in a young mode like Bellingham at the moment. It's not a player that we need to be that young right now in that position. We need something a little bit more established right now. And by the time he's ready, and we don't know how he's going to take. I know it's a question if Grealish is going to take to United as well, but I could pretty much put my house on it that Grealish would obviously have a better chance of hitting the ground running at United than what Bellingham would. I don't know where the rumours are coming from that Bellingham has been promised game time just to get this signing over the line. I know Ronaldo was promised it, and that was rumoured to be one of the main reasons why Ronaldo came in at the time as well. But for me, I would take Jack Grealish over Bellingham just because I know Jack Grealish is ready to go in the Premier League right now. Like I said, it's a step up from Villa, I know, but a step up, it's a leap up for Bellingham right now. And you know what? A lot could go wrong in the time when, in between Bellingham coming in and then him being ready to start in this team for me. I don't think he's ready to start in this team because I'm looking at likes of Dan James last season. He came in, and I think because he had such a good start being in the mid-table Championship team, he had a good start this season, and that sort of kept him in the first team. He was not really supposed to be in the first team. I wouldn't have thought straight away, but for me, I just think United right now need to have a player ready to go, especially, like you said, it depends where he plays. Jack Grealish isn't going to play that position, but I do feel like Jack Grealish would give something more to what we need right now rather than what Bellingham would, in my opinion, anyway. I just think we need Jack Grealish is still young and he's ready to go. So I just feel like we could probably push a player of Bellingham's age more through our own system rather than losing out on a player of Jack Grealish or maybe a Sancho if it did come down to money and spending, say, 20 million on that sort of age kid. So Grealish all day for me.
There you go. I mean, there's a few people in the live comments quite rightly saying different positions, Ricky, which they are, different values as well, if you want to take that into account. The interesting thing is that, I mean, somebody just said get rid of Matic and bring Bellingham in. What I would like about Bellingham is that he'll catch the last year or two of Matic's career, and Bellingham looks, I mean, I don't know this for sure, but on his attributes, he looks like he will be more of a box-to-box holding midfielder because that's what he's good at in the Championship. So he's got Matic for a couple of years with him. But yeah, they are different type of players, but the way United work, they're probably going to get Sancho and then it will be probably one of Bellingham or Grealish. Which one would you fancy? A longer-term midfielder or Grealish for the now, like Adam would? Or
because I've not seen enough of Bellingham, it's a difficult question to answer, really, Mark. I'm going to make a determined effort this week to get a game up on the internet and watch a game that he's played in. Because to be dead honest, I've not seen him kick a ball, so it's a really
that's honest, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. You know, but if he's got a really good chance, and people seem to think he has, I'd probably go against what Adam said and go for the younger guy. I don't think either of them are going to walk straight into the team. I really don't. I think Grealish would struggle like mad to get a game. You need a squad, of course you do. He'd be a good squad member. But I also think we're not too badly off if everybody's fit and raring to go. We've got Matic, McTominay, Fred for midfield. We've got Pogba and Bruno as attacking midfield players. You know, if we sign Grealish, he might not, unless it's coming on as a sub, he might not get a league game all season. It wouldn't surprise me. So I'd probably go with the younger lad if I was to watch him and think, wow, yeah, he's got a good chance, the kid. Yeah, definitely. I'd have to watch him first.
So, yeah, we're just talking about Jude Bellingham and anyone joining a bit late. He has got a younger brother, and it's an interesting story from Scott in 90 minutes to say that United look like they're going to win this race because they're going to bring his brother as well. Very close-knit family, loyalty to Birmingham as well. There is a rumour that Birmingham United could get him for free. Because of his age, but they want Birmingham to get a fee because of how he's been treated by the club, and I think the family are Blues fans. So I think United will win this race. I do think United are going to win this race because I think that the family units have to up sticks and go to Dortmund, and he's got a younger brother. They'd have to take the brother as well and the family. Just easier to go to Manchester United, isn't it? Plus, I think as a young Englishman, Sancho's potentially coming to United. What is Dortmund's going to be, good for his career. Haaland's been there. Sancho's been there. But you know what? Rashford, people like that. These are names that as a 16-year-old you're going to be aware of. So I think United will win the race. And as Josh said, maybe the team needs to be ruthless and go for both. But I like the look of Bellingham. I'm like Ricky. I've not seen loads of him, but I do live in the area. I know he's spoken about really, really well. And look, if you're 16 years of age and you're playing as a CDM in the Championship, you've got something about you, definitely, because that's ridiculous to be doing that at that age. So we'll see what happens with Bellingham, but I would be very excited if we brought him. We bought a lot of young talent recently, and I think that this is a young player that we've bought who's actually played first-team football. So, yeah, I'd be very excited about that. We're going to talk about the return of the Premier League and the link in with the Bundesliga, and we're going to do a very interesting Premier League sort of head-to-head with United players in a little bit. But the Pogba story, this is L'Equipe, or L'Equipe in French, in France, and obviously both these players are French. Pogba, Rabiot, Adrien Rabiot, PSG, Juventus. It's not worked out. Juventus want Pogba. They haven't got the money, so they're going to offer us some players. Rabiot is part of that deal that they're going to offer. I'm going to phrase it like this to you and the live comments as well. Is there a fee or a player or a couple of players that you do to move Pogba out the club, or are you absolutely adamant that we need to keep Pogba? I'll go to you first, Ricky, on that one. Do you think there is a deal that we could do with the Juventus or a fee that we should take, or is it about keeping Pogba now?
In a way, this sort of links back into the last question. I said that I wouldn't sign Grealish because we'd have Pogba and Bruno fighting for the two attacking roles for one attacking, in my opinion, one attacking role in the league games. I know a lot of people play two. I'd only play one. So if Pogba was to leave, I'd be more interested in Grealish. So that's going back to the last question. I wouldn't be against Pogba leaving. I really wouldn't if we could get the right money for him. But the problem is, what is the right money in this day and age? You know what I mean? So I think the right money might be if we could get the feedback, or roughly the feedback that we paid for him in the first place. I'd probably let Pogba go, mate. I really would. As regards Juventus players that I'd like to take in return, I'd have to have a look at them all again. I mean, what I've seen of Rabiot, I do like him, but I've heard you say on the show, Mark, do we really want him? He's gone from PSG. He's not really nailed it down a position for Juventus. But he was around the PSG team, winning titles left, right, and centre, wasn't he? I don't think he's a bad player.
Do you think that's a good idea, though, for United to be looking at, because Pogba, whatever we think about him, it's always in that sentence, whether you agree with it or not, could be one of the best players in the world in his position. Money's one thing. I mean, we had Fabrizio Romano on a few weeks ago, and I was surprised when he said he expects a lot of swap deals. We're giving up a very, very, very big asset in Pogba. For a swap deal, it's a risk for United, isn't it? Even if you did two players, even if you took Rabiot and another, I don't know. I don't really know. This is why I'm asking you to, and the live comments. I don't know what people's appetite is for it. I mean, I think swap deals are a bit very dangerous, but maybe that's what this summer's going to be about.
They are dangerous, but the problem is, and Ollie must be having sleepless nights over it. I've said that about a few things, but I'm pretty sure he's really happy with. He's got Matic playing in the. I know he's not going to last forever. People don't need to jump on and say, "Oh, Matic again." We need somebody in that holding role. I was looking at Busquets during the week for Barcelona. He's either a month younger or a month older than Matic. Barcelona are not keen to get rid of Busquets. They're not looking to ship him out. He's never been quick. He's a central defensive midfield player like Matic is. He's probably the best in Europe. Matic is the best we've got, and replacing him with a better player won't be easy. So I think Matic has got to play, and I think Ollie knows that. And that might only be for one season, but at the same time, we're talking about the here and now, aren't we? It matters, but it doesn't matter that much what's going to happen in a year or two right now. We've got to get it right. We want to finish as high as we can next season. So Matic, to me, has got to play. Matic is more important than anybody, in my opinion. It's the role that he plays that is so important. He shields that back four. I put the thing on Twitter, Mark. I know you saw it. We kept, was it?
I know you DM'd me about it as well, so I definitely saw it. Yeah.
20 games with Matic in the team, 7 clean sheets in 27 without him. We can't keep a clean sheet without him. And we hardly let a goal in when he plays. He's got to play. Now Matic is in the holding role, and I believe Ollie knows that, Adam. I know you're laughing. I believe.
No, I'm only laughing because he was asking about the Pogba deal. And
I'm glad Adam's laughing because I can't remember where we've gone from would you swap Pogba to Matic? But there you go.
I agree with what Ricky's saying. I just don't know how we got to Matic.
Right. Let me finish. We need Matic in the holding role. Fred has been brilliant in the last few months, absolutely works his socks off. And a lot of people say he doesn't deserve to lose his place. Now, if you're going to keep those two players in the team, there isn't room for both Pogba and Bruno. Not in my opinion. One's got to play. Bruno's the man in possession. If Pogba comes back into that squad, we could end up in a position where we don't know who to play, try and play them both at the same time. I think it'll go wrong. Depends who he leaves out, of course. Loads of people will jump on here and say, you can't leave Fred out. Well, I'm telling you, he can't leave Matic out.
Some will say McTominay as well.
Yeah. So, McTominay to me, although he's a lot taller, a lot stronger, McTominay is a threat to Fred's place, in my opinion, because McTominay, he's got the energy and he gets all around the field. He gets all around the field like Fred does. A lot of people say to me, well, McTominay could do Matic's role. He could grow into that role, but the enthusiasm he's got for the game is running all over the show. A lot of people think Matic is slow and maybe not enthusiastic, but Matic plays, I'm not saying he was as good as Carrick, but Matic plays like Carrick used to play. He's a calming influence. He stays just in front of the back four and he gives the simple ball to the attacking players. That's his job. Now, you can't do. I touched on Busquets before. In Barcelona, they probably don't want to get rid of Busquets. It's exactly the same age, they're a month apart. He'll be playing till he's 35 for Barcelona. And he's not
easy, isn't it?
And he's not quick.
Ricky, just give me the name of the person who's wound you up this week talking shit about Matic. I'll go around and settle him up, mate. I promise you. All right, well, I'll flip it quickly back to what we started on.
The midfield has got to have Matic in it. To me, it's got to have one of them working, enthusiastic players, the likes of somebody off red. There's room for only Bruno or Pogba, in my opinion.
I'd go on to what you just said then, actually. You went,
get the right money for Pogba, I'd take it.
You went back to the Grealish thing, actually, there, about if Pogba goes and Grealish comes back in. I actually think if Grealish is looking to better himself, he's going to be looking top 5, top 6 of the Premier League, innit, Grealish? And even Grealish would say, look, I ain't gonna guarantee a starting spot in any one of them teams. There's no way. So for him to actually get to a better team, he's going to have to realise himself that he's going to be playing not as many games in a season. It's what happens at big clubs. It happens at all the big clubs in the world. So I still think Grealish is a good signing for United, even if Pogba stays. Going back to Pogba, Juventus player swaps, I think it was George who came up with it in the comments. Then I was just going to go straight to another position that people have brought up that United may need to get or cover this summer would be a centre-back. So what about a De Ligt? Maybe getting money. Then do you go and push the Partey deal as the holding midfielder on that side? Because Partey is there at a decent price. And maybe a De Ligt, Pogba gone, Partey, Grealish in, even if we didn't get Sancho, wouldn't be the most horrendous summer in the world, because then we're looking at decent strength in depth. And strength in depth is where we are struggling with at the moment more than anything, because we know when we lost Pogba, we lost a lot of creativity. And only since Bruno come back in, and Ricky rightly says there, Bruno stays in the team no matter what. No one displaces Bruno at the moment for the way he's playing. Pogba's struggling to get back in this team. So, you know what I mean? You could talk about Grealish not getting in all day, but Pogba has to find his way back into this team, because guarantee when we come back, Matic will play, Ricky. It's okay. It's okay. He's going to play. He will play. Rashford.
What? Just on that, Adam, what do you think will be? Because I was asked this morning, and we'll ask Ricky as well, but being as you're talking, I was asked this morning, what will United's midfield be against Spurs if we play Spurs? And I said, well, I don't see how you can drop Matic. Look, Ricky's smiling now. I don't see how you can drop Matic. He'll definitely play Pogba, and Bruno picks himself. So I think he'll go back to Pogba sat next to Matic with Bruno in the advanced position. That's what I think he will do.
Yeah, I'd have switched them too, because I don't think Pogba's got the discipline to play. I'd say Bruno played next to Matic in more of an 8 role, being the one who goes up and down with Matic next to him would be the only way you could play that. If you were squeezing Pogba into the team, that is.
Yeah.
Pogba has to be more advanced. He isn't, for me, as disciplined in a certain role like an 8 as what Bruno seems to be. Because we've seen Bruno play all over the pitch. He can definitely run the game. And maybe that is the link that we have been missing.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's been good recently, but if you've got the likes of Maguire going to a Bruno and a Matic, then going to a Pogba, feeding Martial, a Rashford, and whoever it is on the right, then you're looking at a totally different animal altogether in that. But then you're looking at McTominay, then you're looking at Fred. Then players would be dropped. For me, McTominay would probably get the nod ahead of Pogba right now. And I'm not saying Pogba isn't anyway near going to improve our squad as much as McTominay is, or vice versa. It is a case of which way are you going to play this Tottenham game, because they're coming back with Kane and Son both fit. It's all about tactics at the end of the day. We're looking at our best players, but it all comes down to the best team and not the best players for me in this game against Spurs, because Jose knows that no one's going to be looking at performances in these last 8 or 9 games. It's all about results, because no one's going to hit a peak until maybe the season's over. We're coming to the last game, and that's when everyone's going to be sort of hitting a peak. So it's all about results.
I think one of the things from the Bundesliga this weekend, we were talking there, is that if I was Ollie, I'd say one of the biggest things is fitness. Schalke just were dead after 20 minutes. Union Berlin were tired today. Another game I watched, I can't remember, I think the Mönchengladbach, whoever they played, their opposition. You could really see a difference in how, and it's difficult on lockdown to stay fit, but you could see a difference, and Solskjaer needs to get, because we're away to Spurs, we need to make sure we're really fit, and that feeds into Pogba, doesn't it? Because he probably won't play against Spurs, even though he's had 2 months, because you messed that Spurs game up, and you might be saying goodbye to fourth.
I'll be amazed if he played him. I'll throw another spanner in the works as well when you're talking about your midfield players and your forwards. They're going to have Kane back. I think I think Son was out injured. I think he's going to be back. This is a different proposition to the Spurs team that was struggling just before the lockdown came. Now in games like this, I'm counting City and Chelsea. Chelsea's a similar game to Spurs. We play with 5 at the back. We use the 2 full-back. William generally comes in. Shaw slips inside next to the other 2 centre-backs. If we play 5 at the back, surely we've got to have 2 forwards. So there's no room to fit in. You can, as I say every week nearly, you can only play 11. You can't fit Pogba, Bruno, Fred and Matic all in. Do you know what I mean? So you can fit, if you've got 5 at the back, surely you're going to play with 2 forwards, which for me would be Marshall and James. He was the man in possession, but it'll probably be Marshall and Rashford. So then you've got 3 to choose out of all those midfield players. If we play with a back 5, the maximum of those players that you'd be able to pick is 3.
Yeah, it's interesting. And as Amtish says there, 5 subs. I just think on Pogba, I mean, just the lads have had their say. I mean, I think on Pogba, it's money would be nice. You could do what Adam said there. You could go and get a Partey. And if you're going to swap with Juventus, they've got to do something they don't want to do. They've got to give us a player that we actually want, not a player that they don't want. And I think, Adam's right with De Ligt. I'm a big fan of Bentancur. I think he's very young. I think he's Uruguayan, isn't he? And I really like him. But they won't give up that sort of player because they're trying to build something as well. And they want to take our good player to add into their good team and give us somebody they don't want. And that's, to me, why I'm not up for that. But Pogba's going to decide what happens with this. Son was on military duty, Roy Amanta, but he's done it now. I've seen the pictures of him.
3 weeks.
Yeah, he's done it. So Son will be back, Kane will be back, Bergwijn will be back. Will football be back? Look, let's mention that. I've been doing a bit of research. I mean, I've been watching the Bundesliga, and Ricky was on about it before we went live. The Bundesliga's back, and I think some president or something to do with UEFA has said that they're looking to get the Europa and the Champions League back in August when everyone's done their domestic season. The way Germany have done it, I couldn't find this out, so I've researched it this afternoon. The way Germany have done it is they've all booked hotels out, all the teams in the Bundesliga, but they don't have to be in the hotel. You can be at home. But if you're at home, you've got to document anybody you come into contact with, and they get tested before they get tested 3 times a week. Now, United are back training tomorrow, but they were at Carrington today, and the rumour is that's to test them all today to see if they've got it before they go into training for tomorrow. And also, if one player gets it in the Bundesliga, they don't isolate the whole team. They isolate that player for 14 days, and then they test the rest of the team, and they keep testing them. So I read that and I worry about the Troy Deeney, Watford, the Danny Rose, Newcastle, the Steve Bruce, Newcastle, the Brighton manager. The Brighton have said that they're a bit worried about it. I mean, to me, it feels like everyone in the Bundesliga wants to get this on, and they're doing it. I'm not so sure we've got that Premier League buy-in, and I just think there's going to be trouble ahead with the Premier League compared to the Bundesliga. I don't know. Do you want to go first on that one, Ricky? What are your thoughts? Do you think we're going to see it back? Are you encouraged by what's happened with the Bundesliga?
I'm very encouraged. I've watched a few games this weekend. I'm very encouraged by the Bundesliga. They've done it so professionally. Everything's well organised. Social distancing between all the subs. The subs are sitting in the stand generally, so that there's enough space on the bench for the coaches or whoever, the first aid people. So they're really well organised. I don't know how or why, but there seems to be fair, I wasn't really clued up with what was being said in Germany. You don't see the German news, do you? I don't know if they were having people before it all started sort of saying, oh, we're not sure and we're not sure. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that was happening, but they have got it going. So the way they've got it going, I don't see any well, there isn't, is there? There's no reason whatsoever why we can't get it going. I was interested with what you said there about the players can stay at home, but they have to make a note or register every person they come into touch with. I'll be interested how deep that goes, because if you live at home, say with your wife, and your wife goes out shopping, do you have to get your wife to sort of say, "What do you know what I mean?" She's been out, hasn't she? So effectively, you're in touch with people that she's been in touch with. So I don't really know how that works. But in a nutshell, the Germans, every game's gone ahead. Every game's been completed this weekend. There's one game to come tomorrow night, which I'll be glued to again. I don't see why we can't, and I hope we do.
Invictus, who I think is based in Germany, he's saying that there has been some people against the Bundesliga. I mean, look, I found it a bit weird yesterday, but I think that was because the anticipation, and then it is just a football match. I enjoyed the Bayern Munich game today because it wasn't the razzmatazz of it returning. It was just watching a match, and I enjoyed it. But it's interesting, Adam, because I went out today and I actually tweeted it that took Seb out for a little walk to the duck pond, and no word of a lie, 10 bikes, 20 lads of about 17, sat in a circle, just chatting away and having a drink. And I said to the missus, I said, one of them's got it. They've all got it. They're all going to 20 different households. They're all going to get it. Like, I totally respect these footballers who are worried about coming back for their safety. But if they think people aren't not taking notice of this and the world's not getting back to normal anyway, I just think the only thing that can stop this for me is if we have a massive second spike, which we might do with people doing what I saw today. But I think the Bundesliga for me has shown that, yeah, let's give it a go. But whether they'll be willing to do that, I don't know.
Yeah, totally with you on that one. Really encouraged by what the Germans are doing. The Germans are so disciplined. That is one thing the English is not. And it's no surprise all the rest of Europe gives us this reputation when we go away with England and stuff like that. You get rid of one idiot, another one comes along and replaces him. Like you said, then people in the park, I've seen it today. I've seen 7 lads playing on a football pitch, all walking off. Some of them had the tops off, sweating. You know what I mean? People are making their own rules up in this country at the moment. It scares me because Aguero's come out and said he's not happy to come back play. Sterling, we hear Danny Rose, all these players coming out saying they're not happy. It seems like any excuse. And I'm not saying we're completely different to the Bundesliga, but we are massively different in terms of money. And for the teams that go down in the Bundesliga, I guarantee it's not going to be the same financial hardship as what it would be. I know you've got parachute payments going down, but the financial side of it is what is going to ultimately cause the issue with the Premier League starting again, because some teams know that they're done. Let's be honest. Some teams know they're going to struggle. Looking at the fixtures coming back, like we talked about the other week with Brighton, not happy to play on neutral ground. I don't understand why, because I would take United to beat any team any day on a training field with the quality that we've got in our team. I just feel like our mentality under pressure sometimes is what we've got to learn. So in theory, if we come back, I am fully confident United are going to go through and get the 4th spot, because I think we could beat any team with the players that we've got. I just feel like the British mentality is what is going to destroy this chance of us all getting back to football again. And the teams and the players, and what some of the players have come out and said is scary. Are the owners, managers of these teams, you're talking about Bruce there, going to use that as an excuse for us not to start? I can't say, like I said, I'm really encouraged by what the Germans are doing, but we are far from the German mentality. It is scary how far away we are from them. And that is my ultimate fear. Like you said then, the people are making their own rules at the moment, absolutely making their own rules out there. We go out every day. Like I said, I'm starting work next week. Tomorrow, I'm allowed to go into people's houses with the right PPE, obviously, but still, for me to be only allowed in tomorrow into people's houses wearing PPE and training only starting pretty much tomorrow. It seems a long way off, and a lot of excuses, and I don't like to say it this way, but a lot of British excuses could be made up in that time before we start the season again, and that's what scares me. I'm all for kicking it off and getting going, and really just wish we had the same mentality as what the Germans have got, but I just don't see it in our population at all. I just feel like there's an excuse from the next person to the next one, and it's a horrible thing to say about your own country, but we see it all the time. And how many idiots have we seen out there? How many videos we see on social media about the police getting stick and being abused? It's like you said, Denmark, 17 guys in a park on the bikes, people organising bike rides with each other. I just don't know where it's hard to see it starting. Germans encourage me, but the British mentality worries me. That's basically it for me.
Well, it says here that the UK's daily figure for coronavirus deaths has dropped to 170, which is the lowest since the day after lockdown began. I totally agree with what Adam said there, Ricky. I don't know about you. I think I just feel there's going to be a problem with the Premier League. And I feel there's going to be a problem with the Premier League because I feel that in this country, you've got people who are going back to normal, but you've still got people who want lockdown not to end. I don't know why they don't want lockdown to end, because we went in lockdown to stop the NHS getting overwhelmed. It's never going to be safe while this virus is around. And there are footballers out there and clubs saying, we don't like the look of this because it's not safe. It's not going to be safe. It isn't. We're clearly not getting rid of this. I see people out that shouldn't be out, but they're going to stay out. And the government really have been a bit soft about that. They're not bringing the army in. So I think the government basically are at a situation where, well, we built these big, massive hospitals. We've not had to use them. We can cope with what this virus will throw at us. I mean, we've had loads of people die, which is horrific, but we've not overwhelmed our NHS. We didn't even fill these hospitals. So I'll tell you what, I think the government's policy is we're just going to go back and we're just going to have to live with this infection, because otherwise it's going to cripple the country. But for football, I think that means there's always a risk. And we already know there are some players out there who are saying, I'm not going to play with any risk. I think football can come back. I think snooker can come back. I think schools can go back. I think everything can go back if it's done in a safe way. And I think the Bundesliga this weekend showed us the safe way of doing it. But I still don't think the Premier League are going to buy into it. And I think that's really sad, because some of these football players can ride out not playing for 18 months or a year, but most can't. And it will destroy football in this country.
Yeah.
When we went into, when the lockdown was eased on Wednesday, I've been carefully watching each day to see the infection rate, which is still coming down slowly, and the death rate is also coming down slowly. If that continues, there won't be a problem restarting, i.e. with the government. The government have eased the lockdown. If it suddenly spikes, if the R rate goes up, the government might put a stop to it. But I'm watching it every day. Hopefully it keeps sliding. If it keeps sliding, the government won't stop it. So if the government don't stop it, the only thing that can stop it is some of the players. So let's see what happens.
Well, I think we can leave it there, because I think we've all had our say. And I think, look, I want football back. I've always wanted it back when it's safe. I think it's never going to be totally safe. And we've all said that. I think the Bundesligas this weekend have shown. I expect there will be some Bundesliga players that get coronavirus, by the way, at some point, because it's going to happen. But I don't think it will derail the Bundesliga. I think they'll just adapt to it. You know, Bayern Munich didn't have Sully playing today. There are injured players. Zakori is not playing for Mönchengladbach because he's got a bad knee. They will just probably play on, and that player can't play. They'll find a way, because that's what they're. I hope the Premier League prove me wrong on this, but I think we're going to have barriers put up by the Players Association, by the Managers Association. I hope I'm wrong, but I've just got a funny feeling that well, not a funny feeling, but I think that might be what happens. Anyway, we always have a bit of fun on this show, and we're going to have a bit of fun, and this is what we're going to do. So basically, there was, let me just get this up. It's on the website. So it's on the United Stand website. So there was a Eurosport held a recent vote to decide on the greatest ever Premier League player, and you'd thought, you know, Cantona, Scholes, etc., and they might do well. But actually, Matt Le Tissier won it. Now, if Matt Le Tissier wins this, I don't think we'll ever have Ricky and Adam on again. And I don't think he will win. But I've got the map to the final in front of me. And basically what it is, there's how many players have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we've got 32 players. And they've all been put into head-to-heads, and then the winner goes through to the next round. So I can see the mapping. I'm going to give you 2 players, and you two are going to vote. And obviously, if you draw, I'll have a look at the live comments and see who gets the most to knock it through. I won't actually take part. So we're basically going to vote from what would be 32 players. They'll go head to head through to quarterfinals, to the semi-finals, to the final. We'll come out with the best Premier League player ever. I'll be surprised if it's not a United player, but you never know. There might be some honesty in here. But Matic isn't in it, so Ricky can't be biased. So the first round, and this is from the Eurosport. I've not randomised these. The first round is Roy Keane against Harry Kane. This is it. Some of them will be better than this, but Roy Keane against Harry Kane.
He's got to be Keane on it.
Yeah. So let me just make sure this is right. Yeah. So Roy Keane has gone through Harry Kane. To play Roy Keane in the quarterfinals, Ryan Giggs or Gianfranco Zola?
Ryan Giggs.
Yeah, I'd go Ryan Giggs. I'm not being biased either.
No. So we know Keane is going to play Giggs in the quarterfinal. We'll come back to that. Vincent Kompany against David Silva.
Oh,
I'd go David Silva. The quality of David Silva's got to be.
You know what? They both came in before the boom, didn't they, as well? So, you know what I mean?
Kompany was one of their first signings, I think.
It was, but I think...
He was there before Robinho.
Yeah, he was actually, wasn't he? No, I mean, I'm going to go Kompany on that one, me, actually. I just feel Kompany, just being the captain and the leader that he is, it's just my type of player, to be honest. That's all I'm judging that off, because I'm not taking anything away from Silva. I'd love United to have got him.
Silva is an unbelievable player. You've just picked Harry Maguire above Paul Scholes.
So what are we going for in the live comments?
Behave.
Silva or Kompany? Come on in the live comments. You've got the casting vote.
I just like Kompany. There's two quality players.
Right. I'm just having a quick look at the live. Somebody just said Keane. We've done that. Live comments. Yeah, more are going for... Well, I don't know. Yeah, more are going for Silva. So we'll put Silva through. Kompany's out. Next one, Tony Adams or... Tony Adams or Eric Cantona.
Got to say Eric, haven't we? Got to say Eric.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll tell you what, though. There is. If we weren't United fans, I can see why some might say Tony Adams. He won titles. So did Cantona.
Two captains, but I thought Adams already had a better team around him. Cantona brought through one of United's best teams that we've ever seen. He was the
final piece, wasn't he?
He was the one that actually made that team happen.
These little games like this it's usually better if the players playing the same position that you're comparing to each other.
Yeah.
This is Eurosport for you. I'm noticing there's a lot of United players in this area that are going to play each other. So I'm starting to see how Matt Le Tissier won here. But so we've done Adams and Cantona. So the next one, I mean, again, it's a mismatch, but Vidic against Bergkamp.
What?
I know. I haven't. Everybody at home, this is a Eurosport thing that Matt Le Tissier won overall. We're just running it through as an experiment. So I haven't matched these players up. But this is the first round before the quarterfinals. So Vidic against Bergkamp. Where are you going, lads?
Bergkamp was fantastic, wasn't he? But Vidic won that many trophies. He was such a... Yeah. Usually, though, when people look at these sort of things, they tend to go with the skillful players who are scoring the goals and making the goals, don't they? So
we're talking about best Premier League player ever. I mean,
I'll probably lose out here, but I'll go Bergkamp on this one.
No, it's like you said, Vicky's right there in what he said. I mean, I can't. I've watched Bergkamp for Holland, Bergkamp for years for Arsenal, and you can't deny. But I'm just going to tip it in Vida's because of what Berbatov said the other day. In his interview, talking about Vidic, especially Vidic in training. And Berbatov we all know Berbatov was absolute mustard. And for me, one of the best strikers the Premier League has ever seen. So for him to say that playing against one of the hardest players he's played against was on his own team, and that's the intensity that Vidic brought into training. It was the same on the training pitch as it was on the pitch. It's Vidic for me, because Berbatov said he could not get a minute. He actually had to pull Vidic aside and have a word with him and say, can you stop? And Vidic just stood it in front of him up and said, no, get on with it. This is me and this is what you got to play against. So Vidic, he may say it's biased, but I just think just off that little bit from what Berbatov said, that won it for me. It was brilliant.
He's got 5 league titles and a European Cup. Vidic, I think, hasn't he?
Well, yeah, he's got the European Cup, hasn't he? But to be fair, I'm going to go with the live comments, and it's close. It's close. I'll keep it coming in. It is close at the moment. I think I know who's just tipped it, which probably won't come up as a surprise. But a lot of people have said have gone with Bergkamp, but Vidic takes it. He's got more. So I know that's because it's a United channel. Right, this is an interesting one because it's, again, I really feel maybe, well, we'll see as it goes on, but it feels like it's, well, maybe this is just a lot of United players, isn't it? But this is Andy Cole against Paul Scholes.
Paul Scholes.
Yeah, no question. Andy Cole's a great striker, but Paul Scholes one of the best midfielders of all time. And look at the goals that Paul Scholes scored as well. So, I would say Scholes was the best at what he did, but Cole was the best at what he did in terms of scoring goals when he was at his peak. But Scholes' longevity definitely outweighs Andy Cole on that. I'm taking that away from Cole, but it's the United. Was there any other players in this?
Well, yeah, there is now. This is it. They've dumped all United players together. But the next round, the next one is Sergio Aguero against John Terry.
It's sort of tough, but you've got to go Aguero again. He's the goal scorer, isn't he?
See, I don't like John Terry off the pitch, but I always say there's United players I know that are complete knobheads off the pitch, but I love them as legends of the club. John Terry, to me, he's up there with Keane, and he's not as good as Keane, but he's up there with Keane and Gerrard in relation to the best 3 Premier League captains. I think as much as I don't like the guy, he was a bloody good defender. I think he's in the same conversation as a Vidic and a Ferdinand. So I would go Terry over. Who was it? Aguero. I mean, Aguero is brilliant though. You know, Aguero is probably the best goal scorer there's ever been.
Record, he's unbelievable, and
yeah, I would look at it on.
You've got to get your defence right, and you've got to start with your defenders, and your defenders are vitally important. But finding a goal scorer of his quality is it's not impossible.
I would look at them too. At the
Terry's a bit like Cantona, isn't he? Terry's a bit like Cantona. He turned them into a winning team. If without him, I don't think that him and Lampard, I don't think they would have done it.
That's what I would say. I would say, looking at them at their peaks, if you took both of them out of their teams, would they have won what they did win? I would say Chelsea would have had a better chance without Terry than City would have without Aguero, because City without Aguero, he was the one player that scared me in that City team. When he played, I can't argue against Ricky and what he says, the goal scoring record. He's an unbelievable striker. And when did he go to City? Was it, did he go, what year did he join? He must be going on 10 years at City now. So, I mean, and he's done it every season. And you know what? As you take Aguero out of City in that time spell, they ain't winning as much for me. Take Terry out, I think they've probably got just enough to still win a bit more. But yeah, Aguero for me.
So Aguero goes through, and then to play Aguero in the quarterfinals, Yaya Toure or Thierry Henry.
Thierry Henry.
Yeah. That's an easy one, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's that side of the draw. We've got a quarterfinals sorted on that side. So we'll go to the other side. De Bruyne against Patrick Vieira.
Oh, now that's a good one. That's what we're talking about. Now that's something to think about.
That is tough.
I mean, De Bruyne, I was asked this today. They said, who's the best midfielder in the world? And I said, I'm a bit Premier League biased, but I think it's De Bruyne. I think he's a fantastic player. But I'm also old enough to remember what Vieira was like as well. So
you could look at it this way. I mean, Vieira, unlucky for Vieira, he was around at the same time as Paul Scholes and Roy Keane, so he wasn't even in the top 2 midfield players when he was playing in my book, whereas De Bruyne, for me, the best player in the country for me. So I'll go De Bruyne on that.
Yeah, it's like Paul Robinson's just said there, it's influence against ability again, isn't it, really? Because Vieira had that influence. But then again, I suppose De Bruyne last season, City didn't have him and they won the league. This year they've had him and they haven't won the league. So,
it's De Bruyne is absolute quality. I put him in my a team when we did the charity day when was on the video with Flex. I had him in my midfield, best Premier League midfield, but I think I also had Vieira in that same team. So, oh man, it's a hard one to call. I'm gonna go Vieira because I know what Vieira was for that Arsenal team, and I just feel without Vieira, I do feel like Arsenal would have struggled. Again, I'm judging it on what it would be without that player in that team, and I would know United would walk over Arsenal without Vieira back in that day. Vieira was the only thing that was stopping United, I thought. I know Arsenal had a great team going forward, but in that midfield, Ricky just said it then, United had the best two. So without Vieira, Arsenal would have been nothing, in my opinion. So I'm going to go with Vieira on that one.
Okay, I'll do this one. I'll go Vieira as well. So De Bruyne is out. Ashley Cole or Frank Lampard?
Frank Lampard.
The amount of goals that Lampard scored in midfield against probably arguably one of the best defenders in the Premier League in his position. Oh no, I'm going to have to go with Ricky on that. I just Lampard was literally, he was like we were talking about with Terry a minute ago. Without Lampard, Chelsea wouldn't have been the force. I think Arsenal could have easily replaced him. Chelsea could have replaced him. Yeah, Lampard.
Beckham against Schmeichel.
I'm going to go Peter Schmeichel on the basis that Peter Schmeichel is, in my opinion, the best goalkeeper. So he's the best player in his position that's ever played in the Premier League. As great as Beckham was, he'd probably be in the top 5 or the top 8, maybe even the top 10, as great as he was. Whereas Schmeichel, without a doubt, was the best goalkeeper in my opinion.
I think you're right. I think if you think about it, it's Schmeichel. But I mean, Beckham was fantastic. But I do think that I think you're right. I think, but it's not me. It's Adam.
I think going off that logic, there's not as much competition for Schmeichel as there would be Beckham then, because there's number 1 keepers and there's number 2. So he's up against 19 other goalkeepers in that league.
No, we're talking
Beckham's up.
About the Premier League years. There's 20 or 30 other great goalkeepers.
I mean, I said this. Some people were picking Van der Sar when I spoke to him over Schmeichel for United's best goalkeeper, which is crazy. I suppose it all goes down. Yeah, I was just about to say it goes down to age, but you know what? Some of my best. I still remember the spider save at Goodison Park that Schmeichel saved, the impossible save. I remember it. I love Becks. I do. I absolutely adore Schmeichel, though. So, and like you said, he is awesome. Beckham was great. Schmeichel was awesome. Schmeichel wins it.
Schmeichel's through, and he will play in the quarterfinals either Robin van Persie or Alan Shearer.
Oh, fucking
Alan Shearer. No contest.
Yeah, I think
we're talking about strikers, aren't we? And Van Persie is fantastic, but strikers are for goals, and no one beats Shearer, do they?
Okay. This is a good one as well. Well, it's not really, is it? Eden Hazard against Wayne Rooney.
Oh, still Wayne Rooney for me.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I think Wayne Rooney for his. Again, he's done it longer. You know what I mean? He stepped up from Everton. He done it. It's a hostile atmosphere over in Madrid, but Hazard's pretty much failed. The last year we've not seen anything of him. So Wayne Rooney, definitely, because he's won titles on his own. I know Hazard was a one-man show at times for Chelsea, but Wayne Rooney, pivotal in United's trophy cabinet success for me.
Drogba against Gerrard.
I love
Drogba.
You know what? You know what? Gerrard's a good player, but it's not so much the hate that I've got for Liverpool. It's the fact that Drogba was immense and an absolute. He was. Some of the goals that guy scored were unreal. So I'm going to go Drogba because
just a quick Just a quick one. Like, interesting what you said before, Adam, about if they didn't have a certain player, and Liverpool didn't win the league with Gerrard.
Exactly.
Chelsea would have won the league if they didn't have Drogba. They would not have.
Yeah, we're talking greatest player of the Premier League era, and of course, Gerrard didn't win a Champions League, a Premier League, which there's lots of reasons for that. But look, both Ricky and Adam have gone with Drogba. Gerrard's slipped out again, and the next one is Rio Ferdinand against Petr Cech.
I feel like I'm being too biased at times, but I've got to go Rio. He's like a Rolls Royce, Rio, and again, 5-6 titles, European Cup. He was a great player, Ferdinand. Great player.
Yeah, it's no question for me. This one, Cech, good goalkeeper, but not the best goalkeeper, like we just said, in the Premier League. So why should we put him through? Whereas Rio is definitely up there with best defenders in the Premier League era. So Rio goes through.
Okay, now this, for people who join us a little late, this is a Eurosport top 32 Premier League players. They go head-to-head to quarterfinals, to semi-finals, to finals to find the winner. Matt Le Tissier won it on a Eurosport went through all these votes that we've done with their viewers, and Matt Le Tissier won it. Now, I don't think Matt Le Tissier is even going to get through the first round here, so I don't know how he bloody won it. Matt Le Tissier against Cristiano Ronaldo.
Who put Le Tissier through?
Well, Matt Le Tissier's run to winning their poll was beat Ronaldo, beat Gerrard, and beat Shearer, and then beat Henry. He must have like bots or something. Like,
I thought Matt Le Tissier was an absolutely fantastic player. I would have loved to have had him at United at some stage. I can't really remember what exactly he was playing in certain positions for United at the same time as he was playing, but that's how good I thought he was. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. And people will probably argue that without Le Tissier, Southampton would have been, in the lower division on 2 or 3 occasions, perhaps. Matt Le Tissier kept him up on his own at times. He was just absolutely wonderful footballer. But there's been a lot of wonderful footballers in the Premier League. I'd like to know how he settled on the final 32, because I'm not sure, as good as he was, that he should even be in the 32. But he was a great player. But you've got to go Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, you're looking at Matt Le Tissier there. As good as he was, where was his ambition to actually move on? You know what I mean? We're talking Le Tissier against a Ballon d'Or winner while he was actually in the Premier League. Let's forget about what he did. Forget about what he's done at Real Madrid. He actually won the Ballon d'Or while he was at United, Ronaldo. So Premier League Ballon d'Or winner, few and far between. It's a no-brainer. See you later, Matt.
We're on to the quarterfinals. We've got to move a bit quick through these. Okay, so no, we're not in the quarterfinals yet, actually. We're down to the last 16, so we've got to move really quick. Keane or Giggs?
Keane.
Yeah, Roy Keane. Love him.
Okay.
Leader.
Scholes or... No, Silva or Cantona? David Silva or Cantona?
Cantona for me.
Go on, I'll go Cantona.
Very game player.
Very tight
game.
Okay. Vidic against Scholes.
Scholes.
Yeah. Agreed. Scholes.
And Aguero against Henry.
Oh.
Longevity-wise, I'd say the City player Aguero, but I'm going to go Thierry Henry. He was fantastic.
Yeah, one of the best strikers I've ever seen play the game, and definitely Henry, I think, on that one.
Vieira against Lampard.
I'll go for the goal scorer, Lampard.
There's one more. Yeah. I'm going to go Lampard on that one. It's like I said before, you can take Vieira out of Arsenal's team, they'd be bad. But we're at a stage now where it's Lampard and the amount of goals that guy got. Like Ricky said, then different ball game.
The European Cup, yeah.
Yeah. There's one more, yeah.
Schmeichel against Alan Shearer.
Oh, that's terrible, That's terrible. I've got to go Alan Shearer.
I was going to say, unless you're going to be biased, I think you have, haven't you?
Yeah, no, you'd have to really, really love Schmeichel to disagree with that one.
Rio against Didier Drogba. Rio Ferdinand, Didier Drogba.
Rio for me.
One of the best battles in Premier League. Could say that. Yeah.
Captain. Oh, no. Hold on a minute. I've got it wrong. It's Rooney against Drogba.
Drogba.
Oh. I'm gonna go Rooney still on that one. I know what Drogba. I do like Drogba, but I'm just gonna go Rooney on that one.
You went Drogba, did you?
I've gone Drogba. Yeah, I just think. I mean, Rooney was great for us, but I think Drogba won things for Chelsea. On his, they wouldn't have won without him. They wouldn't have won without. We may have still won things. He was playing with Ronaldo, Tevez, Giggs, Scholes with a great team. Obviously, Chelsea had a good team, but I just think Drogba was absolutely vital to it.
Okay, everyone in the comments is going Rooney, so Rooney goes through. And then to get us to the quarterfinals, Rio versus Ronaldo.
We're just talking during the Premier League years.
Yeah.
People will jump on me here, but if it was over the whole career, I'd go Ronaldo. But for Ronaldo's 6 years in the Premier League, compared to
single-handedly won us the league a couple of times, though, didn't he?
Oh, he was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. But he was here for 6 years, and I just think all I'm saying is, over his whole career, it's hands down Ronaldo. It's not so quite straightforward. If you just
United,
at 6 years, if you're just looking at those 6 years, I'm going to go Rio.
Adam,
I'm just going to go Ronaldo. I just think he set a new standard. I think he set a standard that we've struggled to even get anywhere near, and that takes a lot. Even when he left to another club, the fans are still bleeding chanting his name. It's ridiculous. The impact that guy had on this football club is unreal. I just feel like he was a step above even in the shorter spell of time that he had for me. So I'm just going Ronaldo on that one.
Yeah, live comments have gone mainly Ronaldo. Right, we've got to really whiz through these now. Quarterfinals. Keane against Cantona.
Keane lasted longer, and yeah, I agree.
Keane.
Scholes against Henry.
Oh, got to go Scholes. 11 league playing in 3 different teams along the way. Got to go Scholes.
Yeah,
as good as Henry was.
Lampard against Alan Shearer.
Shearer.
Yeah, tough for Lampard, but Shearer.
Awesome.
And this is a good quarterfinals. Rooney against Ronaldo.
I'll go Rooney again over the length of period that he was here in the Premier League as well, doing it for years. Top scorer for United ever, didn't he, as well?
You were going to put Drogba ahead of Rooney, though. Oh, you can't put Drogba ahead of Ronaldo.
Yeah. I'm going Rooney.
He's going Rooney anyway. Okay, yeah.
I talked about Ronaldo setting a new standard, didn't I? It's hard to come back from that. But Rooney picked up where Ronaldo left off, and Rooney was the one who fronted up to Ferguson when all these players and that standard was dropping as well. And he got a lot of stick from United fans for that. So for Rooney to carry on playing the way he did without Ronaldo and the Tevez, I'd probably just go with Rooney because, like you said, the amount of goals he scored, leading goal scorer for United, Premier League, United most successful Premier League team.
Yeah. Well, so Matt Letizia, God knows how he won it, but we've got semi-finals of which 3 players are United players, which is probably about right based on Premier League player of all time. It is right. It's not bias. There's probably a little bit of bias in some of them, but I don't think it's wrong to come to the conclusion that 3 United players are in the final 4. So the first semi-final is Keane against Scholes. This will be interesting.
Scholes for me. I've got to go Scholesy for me. Like Ricky just picked up on then, how many teams did Ferguson build? I think Scholes had a part in every single one of them. And you know what? I think if you ask Roy Keane who one of the best players was he ever played with, he would say Paul Scholes easily.
I think Scholes said it about Keane though, didn't he?
He did. He's going to. He's too scared. Yeah. That's why.
Yeah. It's about what Paul Robinson says. A lot of it. I mean, Keane was a great footballer. If you're going off influence, is there a more influential Premier League player than Roy Keane? If you're going off talent, Scholes wasn't influential with his voice. He was a footballer, wasn't he? So
he also stayed around a lot longer, didn't he? He won 11 titles. I think did Keane win 6 titles or maybe 7?
Yeah, but he did win them, didn't he? You know, we wouldn't have won them without him, really.
Yeah. You've gone Scholes, haven't you, Adam?
Yeah.
Drop a toss-up. I'll go Keane and let somebody else decide.
Yeah, I was just looking at the live comments. Everyone's quite split on this. So go on, then you've got the deciding vote, Keane or Scholes, to get to the final of the best Premier League player of our era. It's close. It's bloody close. I can't really tell. I'm just going to I'm going to pause it and count how many we've got. Okay. Keane, 1, 2, 3. Let me stop it there. 1 for Scholes, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-3, 5. Yeah, Scholes. I mean, it might not be the fair result in the live comments, but I just stopped it with 15 comments and counted them, and Scholes came out on the top. So Scholes goes through to the final, but close between them two. The other semi-final is Rooney against Alan Shearer.
Shearer.
Can't argue against Shearer, can you? Rooney was great, but Shearer just... I know he played in a time when there was more teams in the Premier League and he's got a better goal record, but... Yeah, I mean, I was keen. Shearer, all-time leading Premier League goal scorer. It's hard to go against that.
Well, isn't he about 50 in front of the next? But who's the next person? I can't even remember.
Rooney, I think.
Yeah, I think he is. Well, yeah, because Rooney's the all-time scorer for us, isn't he? So, yeah. Shearer, Scholes, final. No Matt Le Tissier in sight.
Scholes.
I'm not being biased. I will go Scholes. I mean, Scholes is a midfield player and also scored an unbelievable amount of goals. I mean,
let's not forget what Scholes did in Europe as well. You know what I mean?
That Scholes won and was vital in United winning lots of those leagues with the amount of goals he scored. He's created just an unbelievable player, Scholes, and I would have to choose Scholes above Alan Shearer.
Ridiculously good.
So there you go, just a bit of fun on a Sunday night. We've been doing that. It was a Eurosport poll, top 32 players. They did it head-to-heads all the way through like a tournament knockout thing. We've done it. Paul Scholes beats Alan Shearer in the final. He beat Keane in the semi-final. And Rooney lost to Shearer in the semi-final. But Paul Scholes comes out on top. Matt Le Tissier won it on Eurosport. I cannot get my head on this. He beat Ronaldo. He beat Gerrard. He beat Shearer and he beat Henry. I mean, he loses all 4 of those. So, I mean, also he played for Southampton. It's not like he's an Arsenal player. He can win a poll. You know, who voted for him? It just makes no sense. Makes no sense. Fair play, because that was a stunning win for Le Tissier. But I think properly,
he was a great player, Matt Le Tissier. He really was. But I don't know how that's happened.
But well done, and Scholes, he wins it, which is good. Okay, well that takes us to nice completion of the show. That's what we always do on a Sunday. A bit of something fun in the last half an hour. But I hope you've all enjoyed it. Smash a like on the video if you have, and obviously big shout out to Adam and Ricky for coming on. Thanks for coming on, lads, and give a shout out for yourselves.
Go on, Ricky. Sorry, mate. Catch me at Mad Red United on YouTube, and all my other socials are right at the top of that page as well.
Rick the Red UK on Twitter.
There you go. Very easy. Well, thanks everyone for coming on. Have a great evening, everyone. We'll see you in the morning with the United News Show, and another week. And I hopefully another week closer towards getting these lads back doing some sort of fan cams. They'll probably be like that in their room when they're doing them, and getting United back playing football. Because I mean, after this weekend, that's what I take from it. I just felt it was normal today watching Bayern Munich play. I didn't notice anything different apart from no fans, and I think football can be done like that.
If another week goes by, hopefully next Sunday we're saying, look, it's clearly looking like it's on. I think is there a Premier League meeting tomorrow? I think there isn't. I think there is.
I don't know. But I'd hope so, yeah, because I think they can take a lot from that this weekend.
I think everyone should be having a meeting tomorrow after that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you all soon, and thanks to the guests, and we'll see you in a bit.
Yeah.